Here's another reaction video because I have not done one of these in a little while now. So this is a video that I stumbled across on YouTube earlier, and I thought that we should all talk about it because this really wasn't that long ago. So as you can read here, presidential candidates on same-sex marriage. Now this video begins in the year 2000. So we're going to start with two vice presidential candidates, and then the presidential candidates in the 2000 election. So let's hear what their feelings on uh, same-sex marriage was back in 2000. Granted, this wasn't that long ago, so let's not act like this was, some far off distant land, this 21 years ago.
I have friends who are in gay and lesbian partnerships who've said to me, isn't it unfair that we don't have similar legal rights to inheritance, to visitation when one of the partners is ill, to health care benefits? And that's why I'm thinking about it, and my mind is open to taking some action that will address those elements of unfairness while respecting the traditional religious and civil institution of marriage.
The fact of the matter is we live in a free society, and freedom means freedom for everybody. We don't get to choose and shouldn't be able to choose and say you get to live free but you don't. And I think that means that people should be free to enter into any kind of relationship they want to enter into. It's really no one else's business in terms of trying to regulate or prohibit behavior in that regard. The fact of the matter, of course, is that matters are regulated by the states.
I'm not for gay marriage. I think marriage is a sacred institution between a man and a woman. And I appreciate the way the administration signed the Defense of Marriage Act. I'm going to be respectful for people who may disagree with me. I've had a record of doing so in the state of Texas. I've been a person that would have been called a uniter, not a divider, because I accept other people's points of view.
I agree with that, and I did support that law. But I think that we should find a way to allow some kind of civic unions. And I basically agree with Dick Cheney and Joe Lieberman. And I think the three of us have one view and the governor has another view.
Let's talk about what that is for a second. So first of all, they're referencing the Defense of Marriage Act. Let's see what exactly was the Defense of Marriage Act. It is a federal law passed and signed by Bill Clinton that said that marriage for federal purposes as a union between one man and one woman. And it allows states to refuse to recognize same-sex marriages granted under the laws of other states. So that's fun. So even if you went to a state that did recognize same-sex marriage, it just meant that other states didn't have to recognize it. So that's great. So can we just take a pause really quick and talk about what exactly it is that we're talking about here? The norm in our country was that we didn't want people who were same sex to get married. What are we talking about here? One person putting a ring on another person's finger, them living in the same house together, getting, having a ceremony claiming that they're going to be partners forever, having similar tax benefits. Like, that was this controversial. Not only that, but some people were against them having civic unions, which just gave them basic decency of being like, like if your partner was in the hospital, sometimes they have, like only immediate family are allowed to go visit you. And so same-sex couples weren't even given that rights where they could even like go into like see their partner in the hospital. Like you would think that we're talking about the year 1950, but this was 2000. Is that really what's happening here? Let's look at the timeline really quickly here. In the year 2000, right around that time, you had several states here that were constitutionally banning same-sex marriage. Here, in 1998, Alaska and Hawaii voters approved a state constitutional ban on same-sex marriage. And then again here, there's a ban from Nevada in 2002. Nebraska voters approved to ban this. So this wasn't even like legislatures who was doing this. These were the people of these states who were banning it. No, Hawaii, for instance, is a blue state. It's been a blue state forever. Like the people of Hawaii voted to ban same-sex marriage. I mean, is that really a thing? California banned same-sex marriage. New York banned same-sex marriage. Like a state judge calls a same-sex marriage illegal. Like, this is insane to me. Let's get back to the video really quickly here. Now let's jump to 2004. Let's see if some things changed.
I believe marriage is between a man and a woman.
Guess not.
But I also believe that because we are the United States of America, we're a country with a great, unbelievable constitution with rights that we afford people, that you can't discriminate in the workplace. You can't discriminate in the rights that you afford people.
I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, and so does John Kerry. I also believe there should be partnership benefits for gay and lesbian couples in long-term committed relationships. But we should not use the Constitution to divide this country. No state for the last 200 years has ever had to recognize another state's marriage. This is using the Constitution as a political tool and it's wrong.
Okay, so again, the Democratic Party is sitting here saying, one, we believe in rights for everyone, but you can't get married. So I guess we don't actually believe in rights for everyone. And then your vice presidential candidate says we shouldn't use the Constitution to divide people. I'm sorry, what exactly are you doing right now? But should I digress? Actually, I don't think I want to digress. That is 2004. Let's not act like that's a long time ago. 17 years ago, the Democratic Party was still against same-sex marriage, but they're the champions of civil rights now. Let's fast forward. Maybe things changed in 2008.
Do you support civil unions or gay marriage?
I do not. I do not. I think that they impinge on the status and the sanctity of marriage between man and woman.
So you would want to take away someone's rights because you believe it's wrong?
I don't put that interpretation on my position, but I understand yours.
I will tell Americans straight up that I don't support defining marriage as anything but between one man and one woman, and I think through nuances we could go round and round about what that actually means, but I'm being as straight up with Americans as I can in my non-support for anything but a traditional definition of marriage.
Okay, so we're not surprised that the Republican Party feels this way. I'm just going to call it what it is. We're not surprised. But I have to say that the fact that John McCain and Sarah Palin are able to openly say that in 2008 is more or less embarrassing for our country. Because, again, why was this a big deal? Why is it a big deal? Why did anyone care? Why would it be a big deal if two people want to get married to each other? Who cares? If people want to get married, let them get married. Marriage is overrated anyway. What are we even talking about here? Okay, now Joe Biden's going to speak. Maybe he felt differently in 2008, our current president.
Let's try to avoid nuance, Senator.
Do
you support gay marriage?
No. Barack Obama nor I support redefining from a civil side what constitutes marriage. We do not support that.
Oh, okay. So neither he nor Barack Obama believed in that. So our first black president didn't believe in granting equal rights to other people in the population. That's fun. Okay. So our current president, Joe Biden, who believes in civil rights and believes in being a champion of civil rights and talked about that at length this year during his campaign, apparently didn't believe in civil rights only 13 years ago. Okay. But I guess, what can you say? He was young and he didn't know what he was talking about, but wait, he was in his 60s. Never mind. Guess he wasn't that young. I guess he was a full-fledged old man who should have known better but didn't. Okay, moving to 2012 now.
I do not favor marriage between people of the same gender, and I don't favor civil unions if they're identical to marriage other than by name. My view is that domestic partnership benefits, hospital visitation rights and the like are appropriate, but that the others are not.
Wow, how caring of Mitt Romney. He thinks that, like if you're the same sex, like, yeah, you can go see each other in a hospital, but that's about it. We can't let you have tax benefits. We can't let you call yourselves married. I mean, what would everyone think if we just allowed that in this country? If we allowed two people who were the same gender to get married? I mean, the whole country would just collapse underneath the weight of itself, right? Okay. Well, how did Joe Biden feel in 2012?
I am absolutely comfortable with the fact that men marrying men, women marrying women, and heterosexual men and women marrying women all are entitled to the same exact rights, all the civil rights, all the civil liberties. And quite frankly, I don't see much of a distinction beyond that.
Oh, okay. So all of a sudden he doesn't see that much of a distinction. Did he take a bunch of um, courses between 2008 and 2012? Did he have some kind of epiphany that we're unaware of? It seems a little strange that it took you until you were, you know, in your 70s before it dawned on you that maybe it's okay for people of the same gender to get married to each other? Seems like it might have been politically convenient. Let's see. Was it politically convenient? Let's go back to our timeline. Let's take a look. 2012, the Ninth Circuit finds Prop 8 unconstitutional. What is Prop 8? Prop 8 declared that it was unconstitutional to ban same-sex marriage. Okay, so apparently California banned same-sex marriage in 2008, and they called it Prop 8. Okay, so in 2011, New York had legalized same-sex marriage. So it looked like certain states were just now legalizing same-sex marriage for the first time in America. And so I guess they found it politically convenient to finally be on the other side of this issue. Or maybe that's just me being cynical. Let's hear what President Obama said about it.
I've been going through an evolution on this issue. I've always been adamant that gay and lesbian Americans should be treated fairly and equally. At a certain point, I've just concluded that for me personally, it is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
Wow. So you always believed that people should be treated equally, but you didn't. Okay. So why do a reaction video to this? Like, what is the point of this? The point is that let's not get too caught up claiming that the Democratic Party has always been on the right side of civil rights issues, because we're talking about not that long ago that they honestly didn't give a you know what, and it seems like they only changed because it was politically convenient, because other forces in this country finally paved the way for certain politicians to kind of change their minds on this, which leads me to believe that they never actually, cared about these issues in the first place. They just tried to jump onto what seemed popular at the time. So this has been another reaction video to dumb things I've seen on YouTube regarding politics.